everyone, and welcome to the I guess this is playoffs round one review. Forgive me there. End of the first round here. Some pretty exciting matchups. Some that came down to the wire. So pretty exciting. As always, I'm the commish, aka the champ. Joined by Joel Gibson over there. Joel, how was Godzilla versus King Kong?
It was pretty good, man. I would highly recommend it on a big screen.
Yeah. Well,
I would also highly recommend it.
Excellent. Eric said the same thing, or Eric and Doug were watching it like 3 weeks ago or something. They put in the messenger. So apparently it's just a must see in the messenger. With that being said, we'll get right into it. We'll start with the champs matchup as always. And long and behold, your boy pulled it off. Had to do some magic here. Adam took some injuries towards the end of the week. His Raptors really screwed him. His balls were out of place. But I did what I had to. I sat a lot of players that would have hurt the free throw percentage. And every time I sat them, they at least missed a free throw and committed a turnover. So every single one of my sits worked out for me there towards the end, but Adam put up a hell of a fight, especially for how many people he was down. I was injured. It became a cycling game, and I ended up only using 12 of my cycle spots or acquisitions. He used all 14. That being said, shout out to Adam. Hopefully next year his balls are healthy and he makes another run at it.
Yeah. Just kind of tough for him at the end with the ball boys not working out. Pascal Siakam kind of having an all over the place year, and Lowry sitting. And then John Wall, he traded a first round pick for. Cody was hoping to get a second, and he got a first out of it, I think. And, man, just blew up when it mattered most.
Yep.
But really good year. Him getting Tyrese Halliburton was a pretty envious move, and Julius Randle really worked out for him. I was trying to get me some Randle towards the trade deadline, and he smartly would not budge.
Yeah, Randle's been having an incredible year. I was watching him play in the Pelicans today. Even in amongst Zion, Randle was doing a good job offensively. It was definitely interesting. And Randle's added that three, and I'm telling you, he had a bunch of threes. So for such a big dude, it was cool to see him and Zion, big dudes, go at each other. It was a really good game today. But like I said, shout out to Adam. Better luck next year. This is the best finish for Adam, I think. I'm not sure if he's made the Final Four yet, but shout out to him. He was a solid competitor this year for sure and just kind of fell off towards the end. Next matchup, we'll do your matchup. It was very lopsided. Eric tried his best, but it didn't really matter.
No, it didn't. Just kind of put it out there that I had fucking 27 double-doubles this matchup.
Yeah.
Monstrous. Led the league. Just fucking 78 blocks. We were blocking shots all over the motherfucking house. This team is a force to be reckoned with, and I haven't even activated Jared Allen yet. People are in trouble. So I wonder, whoever I see next round, they better be ready, because we're coming all guns firing.
Yeah, well, I sure feel bad for that poor bastard, whoever it is. But since you wanted to throw out your double-doubles there, I was the only one with triple-digit steals, so shout out to my line if we're going to go back. And that's with all the creative sitting and stuff like that. Your boy's going to drop 120 over the next 2 weeks. You wait.
Wow, that'd be impressive.
Eric, thanks for competing. Made a move at the deadline to get Paul George. Was pretty competitive there towards the end, off to a very rocky start. I remember we were kind of shitting on his team when he was drafting and some of the draft picks that he made, and we gave him a pretty rough feedback the first few weeks because I know he lost quite a few to start out as well. But as always, he was in the playoffs and just came up short this year. We look forward to having him back next year. Next matchup is always a bridesmaid, never a bride, Simmons. Again, being a bridesmaid and losing to Doug here in the playoffs. Shout out to Doug. Monster line from Doug, and he had some injuries as well. He didn't have Turner for a majority of the matchup. Jimmy was sitting random games. He sat today as well. Bad news for him on Mitchell. He's going to at least be out a few games. But like I said, solid line, and he has a next round matchup that he's going to have a pretty good shot to win. I think Doug might make his first appearance in the championship this year, but we'll have to wait and see. Anything on this one?
Man, it's super interesting that Simmons. I mean, what round did he have all of his picks done by?
I believe the 4th or 5th round. We'd have to check exactly, but I think it was the 5th. I want to say it was the 5th that all of his picks were completed, and that was one round after I started picking. So, not to rub salt in the wound or anything there, but it's not always about how you draft in this league. He did not have one game from Triple J, who was a keeper from him this year. Not one.
Man.
And
that's really tough.
That hurts. Even if he'd have kept Shea at this point, chances are he would have been going heavy after Triple J in the draft as well. Nurkic kind of blew up on him. Hayward.
PJ Washington pickup.
Yep.
Didn't work out. I think today was his first game played since the pickup, and he dropped like $5 on him.
Yep. His best player this year was, you could say Zion. He missed a little bit with injury, but as far as consistency goes, it was CP3 in my opinion. A really good year from CP3. I expect we'll see Simmons back next year. I don't know. He has a lot. I think he has a lot next year. Did he sell off towards the end? I can't remember what his picks
I think
is.
he was stacked for picks this year and next.
I just wasn't sure.
Obviously, it didn't shake out for him this year.
Yeah, so better luck next year, Simmons. Like I said, shout out to Doug, and he moves on to the final four. The last matchup is the 8-over-1. We have our first 8-over-1. It's Cody beating Neiman. It was interesting because field goal percentage got so close. Neiman actually accidentally, and I don't know if you saw this in the messenger, accidentally sat Furkan Korkmaz on Monday, and he had a 7 for 10 day. So reflecting back on this matchup, there's still a little bit of time left here. It could be the difference, but it doesn't look like it right now. That could always change. Like I said, Cat and Rubio aren't having great shooting nights. But Furkan also had an assist as well. So if he could end up winning assists with that one assist and having that 7 out of 10, it's possible that Neiman may have sat the win. But again, it's really hard to judge here because Cody only used 2 of his 14 acquisitions. I think that was the biggest story here. Neiman used all 14. His keeper was LeBron, who the wheels fell off at the end of the season again. It's just a tough way to see the number 1 seed go down, especially after all the work he did this year. So rough one, Neiman, and again, better luck next year. Like I said, it was nice to see Neiman and Adam be in the playoffs this year and be a little bit more involved. I know they both are always teetering on that playoff mark, but they both had a very good season, so I will say that much.
For sure. I can't help but look at it and say, well, I gave him Jokic and I gave him Collins. And the Collins pick had its ups and downs, but mostly it was downs this year. I sold high on him, but you could also say he won the trade because he got fucking Jokic. And Jokic has been unbelievable.
Absolutely.
But not having LeBron when it mattered most really hurt him.
And he also housed Hayward. He picked up Hayward early in the matchup. I questioned that right away just because I knew it was going to be an issue with him against Cody based on Cody's line. He didn't do anything with Hayward until today where he dropped him. It would have been interesting if he had that IR spot throughout the week to maybe shift someone down there with his injuries, because I know he had a few where he could have switched someone down and maybe opened up another roster spot, played a few more, and at least forced Cody to cycle a little bit more. But that being said, that's not what happened, and Cody continues his absolute end-of-season tear. 8-1, again, absolutely incredible. He's the lowest seed, and Neiman is the only of one of the top 4 seeds to not make it on. Doug was the 4 seed there. Yeah, that's really all I got on that one. It's just a real bummer for Neiman.
Yeah.
A real bummer for Neiman. 13-1 regular season record. That's definitely going to be the most winningest record to ever not win a championship. For sure, unless an undefeated team goes up there and gets blown out, or at least to make it past the first round. I think that's more the biggest shock, right?
Yeah. Although I think that's a super impressive record to have not won a championship with. Almost any other year, you would think that's a championship team. He's going to go in our league Hall of Fame as one of the greatest regular season teams to not pull it off.
Absolutely, and I would also like to nominate Neiman for biggest letdown. I think this basically clinches it for him. I really don't know who else could have been a bigger letdown. Maybe Simmons or Kyle. I mean, those two, I guess you could make an argument for. But when you go 13-1 and then you lose to the 8 in the first round, that's quite a big letdown for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get into the semifinals here, the Final Four, if you will. And as always, we'll start with the champs matchup. He is away at Joel Gibson. Now, Joel Gibson, we've never met in a head-to-head format in the playoffs. So I'm very excited for this matchup. The only thing that I want to point out is the possibility that games might be postponed over the next couple days based on the ruling. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name right now.
The Minnesota case?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So we'll have to go off of that. I think that if that happens, that's more advantageous to me. That'll give Harden a little bit more time to get back. He's close, but Tuesday, Wednesday are back-to-backs, and that's pretty big for me. If Harden even plays one game, I will be happy with that. All that being said, you put up a monster line. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb, but I'm going to pick myself in this situation only because I'm not really sure I could sleep tonight if I picked you over me.
This team I put together, I put all my chips in the pot this year. No fucks are given for next season. It's all or nothing, and I'm really happy I finally get to take you on, Mr. Kamish. Mr. Buzzsaw. Fuck that, you're a hacksaw. Hack.
You better be careful. You better be careful with that hacksaw, because that's what Cody likes to call himself, is the hacksaw. So you just better be careful.
Regardless, I'm coming for you, sir. I'm coming for you. And so is Mr. Jared Allen. You better look out.
I just hope that I hope that your team doesn't run into a giant buzzsaw. That's all I'm gonna say on that. It's been pretty deadly in the playoffs. Like I told you off air, I did not expect to be this far. And to get to face you, we've been wanting it for years, and we finally get it. It's gonna be good. The wire's gonna be nuts. These Final Four in the next matchup we're gonna talk about are gonna be close matchups, and I don't mean to be too biased, but I think the champ might be coming out of our matchup.
I have a strong feeling of that as well. If nothing else, we're the higher seed, so there's the higher probability. I don't think that Doug or Cody, but particularly Doug, is a team to be slept on now.
Absolutely. It's still going to be a battle regardless. But last matchup here is going to be that matchup, the 8 against 4. It's going to be Cody at Doug. Cody didn't use a lot of acquisitions. I believe Doug used, 6, 7 acquisitions this week. Cody only used 2. I think they're both going to be cycling quite a bit. So the wire, like I said, is going to be very interesting between the 4 of us. You 3 have sizably more money than I do on the wire. We noted that. I'm going to have to pick Doug at home here, but don't sleep on Cody. I think that Doug has a lot of players that are more likely to rest than Cody does. But like I said, Cody put up a line that is competitive with Doug. And so I honestly, both of these matchups, and I told you earlier, I could make an argument for both sides, but I'm going to go with Doug at home.
Yeah, so it's interesting. He's got some, Porzingis could sit at any given time where he could blow up. Jimmy Butler.
Kyrie.
Yeah, man. If Harden's sitting, then Kyrie is shouldering more of that load. Buddy Hield is kind of trick or treat, too.
Kawhi and also Turner on his IR.
And Bob Cove is also, look at his line tonight. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. Sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's monstrous. You really never know what's coming. I do think this is all going to come down to who is the most aggressive on the wire.
I agree.
The biggest thing in Cody's favor is you really never know what could happen with Luka Doncic on any given night. He is just unbelievable.
Absolutely. And at the end of the season, we talked about it last week, and I think we even talked about it at the beginning of the matchup. Towards the end of the season, Luka hits this switch and becomes like a super Luka overnight. And especially as it heads towards the playoffs, he just seems to start hitting his stride, and he can put up some monster lines on you quickly. Like I said, that being said, if Doug is healthy, I think Doug's going to take this. But there's a lot of question marks on Doug's roster. There's more question marks for me on Doug's roster than there is for Cody.
Yeah, I too am going to pick Doug, but I could very easily see this going the other direction.
Yep. Well, that's really it. I do want to post everybody's ballots and everything to get the votes in. Maybe we'll do it halfway through this matchup, or we'll wait and we'll do it during halfway through the championship matchup. I'll probably give you guys a couple weeks. I know how hard it is to only give you 1 week to make your votes. Maybe I should make the due date 1 week, and we might actually be ready for 3 weeks. But, all right. Well, that being said, good luck to everybody. Good luck to... You cut out. I have no idea what you're saying.
You cut out as well, but good luck.
I heard good luck. I assume that means that you're just rooting for me at this point. We're going to end the video on that one. Joel just sided with me. It's great. We're all excited. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you next week.